When I cry, it's a sign that I surrender, a sign that I receive it. I surrender my tears because by me not letting him have them, then I make a pipeline for them to flow to him, gets clogged. Then I begin to feel weak and sensitive instead of me just letting out my tears so that way, as they flow to him, he'll allow something to flow back to me, and that something can be strength. That's something that I feel when I cry. Is his arms surrounding me, which is all I've ever wanted. Is to just feel his warm embrace. And I feel that when I cry. I feel strong when I cry because people think that just because you're crying, you're weak. But when I cry, I feel even stronger because the enemy wants me to feel like, no, you're supposed to be the strong, independent girl that everybody looks up to, or that some people look up to, or just, you can't be weak ever. You have to hold up everything on you. You're having no time to be able to sit around and cry because your life is passing you by, whether you cry or you don't. So you might as well just hold your tears in. But then the Lord came to me and he told me, daughter, I hear you and I see you and I understand you. Where do you understand yourself? So know this, daughter. When you cry, I'm catching all your tears. When you cry and you feel like I'm not there, I'm there even more because I want you to know that I'm there. So by me trying to be there for you even more, he tries to make you feel like I'm not there. But daughter, I need you to have that mustard seed of faith and trust that when you cry, I cry. When you cry, I also smile. So if I'm smiling, I want you to smile. Because when you cry, I cry. So when I smile, you need to smile. When I laugh, you need to laugh. I shout for you. So you need to shout for you. Daughter, when you cry, the enemy, he gets scared because he knows when you cry now, you cry to me. You don't cry to just anything, anyone, not just to yourself, but you cry to me, daughter. And it warms my heart that you cry to me. That you have a sense of vulnerability. And that when you cry, you look up to me, you say, Father, I need you. Father, can you help me? That's all I ever want, daughter, is for you to come to me. Just like your father here on earth, all he wants is for you to come to him, daughter. He wants to feel needed. Daughter, I'm selfish. I know you need me. But I want you to know that I'm here for you and I trust you. So don't always think of yourself as a weak link when you cry. Yeah, you have people who always look at you and be like, yo, she always crying. Like, yo, she get on my nerves. Yo, if she ever stop crying, she always acting like a little girl. Yo, what is she crying for, yo? Like, I'm crying because I know that it's okay to cry. It's okay to not always be okay. I know that now. And now that I know it, I'm not going to hold it in. If I need to cry, I'm going to cry because I feel relieved when I cry. Okay, so what? When I cry, my nose gets stuffy. Okay, so what? When I cry, my eyes get puffy. Okay, when I cry, I sound like a little baby. Okay, when I cry, my eyes may look a little bit prettier sometimes. Okay, when I cry, sometimes I look ugly. And sometimes when I cry, to some people, I look beautiful. I look strong. I look independent. I look human. Because I'm human. I cry. I'm emotional. But I'm also strong and I'm independent. But I'm not independent into ways where I know that I won't, or that I can't, or that I shouldn't go and still ask for help. Being independent doesn't mean that you can't ask for help. And when I cry, I've learned that. I've learned that there are shoulders out here that I can lean on and that I can cry on, and that the Lord has placed here to be able to be there for me. And in some ways, I learned it the hard way, but at the same time, at least I learned it. And at least I'm learning it still. Because everything's a process. So when I cry, I look at it as a sign to me that I just got over one hurdle. It hurted, but I got over it. I'm crying a little bit, maybe even a lot. But even if I didn't make it over that hurdle, doesn't mean that I'll never make it over the hurdle. It just means it might take me a little longer. It just means I might have to go around that hurdle. And that's okay. Not every hurdle is meant for me to jump over. Some hurdles are meant for me to just walk around. Sometimes, just push out my way. Because it wasn't meant to be set up there to make me stronger. It was set there to try to break me. And because I know the difference of hurdles that are meant to break me versus the hurdles that are meant to mold me and expand me and enlighten me and embrace me. And for me to embrace. I know whether or not to push it out the way now. To get help to get over it. To just give it to God and let Him get me over it. To use the tools that He's given to me to get over it. Or to look at it and say, you're not my hurdle. And move it out my way. So when I cry, don't jump to conclusions. So when I cry, just know it's another thing coming. And when I cry, don't always think of me as weak. And when I cry, I don't always want to be hugged. When I cry, I'm not always sad. Sometimes I'm excited because I'm just like, oh, thank you, Jesus, it's done. But sometimes the only way I know how to express it is by when I cry. So let me cry. Let me cry all night. Let me cry all morning. Cry all day. Shoot. At least it shows me and maybe some around me that when I cry, I'm still alive. I'm still here. And there's still a mega plan out there that is still meant for me to prosper in. Because it wasn't set up by me or any other human, but the plan was set up by God, the one who knows what happened in the beginning, what's happening right now in the middle, and definitely what's going to happen in the end. So you know what? I love it when I cry.